welcome back to our channel. So today we are going to be doing, it's kind of like a reaction video, but it's more so just like a conversation. We're gonna be talking about a video that was uploaded by Chris Gringo. I'm not sure how long ago, but he basically, in this video, talks about the differences between dating a Brazilian woman versus dating an American woman. So Marcio and I thought it might be interesting to watch this video and kind of talk about it because I am an American woman and Marcio has been with both American and Brazilian women. So we're gonna see if we agree with what Chris Gringo says or if we disagree, and we'll share our opinions on that. So before we get into the video, please remember to subscribe. We upload new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Also remember to turn on subtitles. We have English and Portuguese for all of our videos, and follow us on Instagram. And let's get into the video.
Get into the video.
So in this video, it's both Chris Gringo and Reagan at the Gringo in Brazil. So if you guys haven't already followed them, make sure you follow them on YouTube and Instagram. And Chris Gringo's channel is basically, I think he lives in Brazil and he kind of travels around and talks about his experiences there.
Really cool.
Yeah. So I think he's American as well. I think both of them are. Before he starts the video, Chris mentions that he does not want to generalize any group of people. He's not saying that all Brazilian women are a certain way, nor is he saying all American women are a certain way. Yeah. Marcio and I agree. When we give our opinions, they're from our own personal experiences, and they're not generalizing any group of people.
Yep.
So let's start this.
The Brazilian women tend to be a bit more direct with their feelings. Really Brazilian people at large, but Brazilian women in specific, I think, are more direct. What do you think?
I would completely agree. I mean, definitely, it was a big adjustment for me as a man coming from the United States to Brazil, in the way that I approach women, in the way that I speak with women, in the way, I mean, just the whole dating scene was completely different for me. And I had to adjust. And actually, it took me a few months to kind of get comfortable.
Right.
Because, I mean, here in Brazil, the expectation is for guys to be a little bit more direct and forward in the way that they feel, in the way that they approach a woman. And it was a totally different, almost a 180 from the United States, where you kind of have to play a little bit of a game, feel it out here and there, see if she likes you. Don't express too much that you like her. And there was that kind of back and forth until you kind of won the girl. But here in Brazil, it was much more like eye contact, nod the head, go ahead and approach.
Exactly, and it's interesting you said that. Like, you have to almost act like you're disinterested in the United States in order to show your interest.
True.
It's weird how that works, but in Brazil, everybody is more direct about their feelings, it feels like, and they're more willing to just immediately tell someone how they feel. Whereas in the United States, I mean, it doesn't feel right, but it's something that you have to do. You have to play the game. You have to pretend that you're not interested. If you go on a date with somebody and you really like them, some people will tell you, wait 24 to 48 hours before you text them. Because if you text them right after the date and you tell them how much you liked it, that could be...
It's like a turn-off.
It could be a turn-off. It could be needy.
So this is all very true. I would say there's definitely... And I almost thought that this was just like normal. Like I thought that like everybody did this. It's very common here that if you like somebody, you're not direct about it. You don't tell them you like them. It's rare that somebody will actually say like, I really like you. I'm interested in getting to know you. Everybody feels like they have to play this game. And what's interesting is that collectively, we all don't like this game, but we all still play this game.
Yeah.
Like all of my friends, myself included, I hated playing this game of like, I like somebody, but I have to pretend like I don't like them because that's the only way that I'll like get them interested or keep their interest. If you're texting them too much or calling them too much, then people will think that you are clingy or needy or, I would say for guys, if a girl is texting him too much or calling too much, he'll definitely say like, oh, she's too clingy. Like, I already know what she's going to be like in a relationship. She's going to be blowing up my phone. She's going to be wanting to know everything that I'm doing. And if a girl shows too much interest, then usually the guy loses interest because the guys like to have to like work for the girl. What do you think? Because you've dated both American and Brazilian women, so I feel like you've probably had to like change your approach as a guy when it comes to that.
I mean, when I came to the United States, I came to the same mindset to like
Be direct.
be direct,
More
you know,
forward.
like because us Brazilians, we like he say, we just talk to like eyes, eye contact, and then you know like signs, you know, like with the head or something.
Wait, actually, like if you were out at a bar in Brazil and you were to just like make eye contact with a girl,
Yeah.
and like kind of give them this, then
Yeah.
That-
Yeah. Yeah.
wouldn't life just be so much more simple if we did that here?
I know.
It's never simple.
It's so opposite here. It's
So complicated.
So complicated, yeah. So when I was single, I never knew if it was the right thing, you know, like they, you know, like I don't know. And especially in the beginning,
Yeah.
you know, when I moved, that I have my mindset. I was used to be in Brazil to get like hang out with, you know, girls in Brazil. And then when I came here, nobody told me anything. It was like literally the opposite. I was like, Jesus, I'm lost. I'm lost. So I haven't dated anybody here for like a year because I didn't know anything. And then it was like, Jesus, it was so hard to hang out with somebody here, you
Yeah.
know? It was like the opposite, literally the opposite.
Jumping off from that, I think also Brazilian women in particular are a lot more family focused. A lot of them still live with their families, and I think obviously families are very important to them. When you start dating somebody in Brazil, I think that you meeting their family is very important. And you can probably have an American girlfriend for many months and you still might not meet their family.
You may have not even told them.
You might
Told your
exactly.
family that you're dating yet.
That's happened to me before. You know, it's like you want to wait a bit
Yeah.
before you show your significant other to your family because you're not quite sure, you know, if it's going to work out. But in Brazil, I think it's a little bit different. I think they want you to meet their grandpa, their grandma, their aunt, their uncle, brothers and sisters. Everybody has to meet the new guy.
The expectation is for you to kind of be a part of the family a lot faster. For family events, organizations, I know when I started dating, I mean, almost immediately within a week, I was invited to a big family get-together, introduced as, you know, the boyfriend, the gringo boyfriend, and then I met everybody. I mean, literally everybody.
Yeah.
Cousins, second cousins, third cousins, grandpas,
Dog.
great-grandmas, introduced to everyone right away, and I felt so welcome.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Immediately, yeah.
It's cool when you get that feeling, and you know the feeling how in the United States there's a stereotype of meeting the parents, and a lot of times when you meet the parents, like the movie,
Watch
it
this
can
movie.
be a whole ordeal because a lot of American fathers tend to have this vibe where
They have the
they're
tough guy act.
a tough guy act. They're kind of like feeling you out.
Yeah.
They're not sure if they trust you, and so
Does this guy deserve my daughter? How's he treating her?
yeah, so they often will act like he said, real tough. They'll be real mean or cold, real direct with you.
They'll test you. They'll
And
test you a lot
have you
more.
felt that in
I
Brazil?
didn't feel that way
like it's not
firsthand.
quite the same.
I would say not at all. The level of comfort I felt was much different than the high expectations of meeting the family in the United States,
Gosh.
where you kind of got to prepare yourself.
You're like sweating.
the girlfriend will tell you, like,
Ugh.
babe,
No, I
this
didn't feel
Friday
it at all.
we're meeting the family.
Yeah.
Make sure you dress like this.
Uh-huh.
Remember that they like this. Say this. Act like this. Expectations super high, and then when the day comes, I'm like, all right, guys, I got to do this. I got to be on my best behavior.
Yeah.
So I feel like it totally depends on the person, because my family is not at all like that. We're like
No.
very casual. My dad is just not like that at all. He doesn't feel the need to like intimidate people to, you know,
Yeah.
or like try and scare them like, oh, you better not hurt my daughter type thing. But I do know families that are like that, and I will say that, you know, I'm almost 30 years old and my parents have only ever met 2 guys. So for most people, unless you're really, really serious about the person you're dating, you don't bring them to meet your family. But again, that totally depends on the person. I would say like they are accurate in the respect that it can be, I would say, a very like stressful thing, because a lot of the time you are waiting a while before you meet somebody's family, and at that point it's like feelings are involved, you care about that person, you want their family to like you, so it will feel like more pressure.
Yeah.
And I also do, again, I do think that this depends on like location and like the status of your family, like depending on like, you know, if your family has a lot of money, your parents are very successful, they also may have certain expectations of like the man that you're bringing into your life. Can he take care of you financially? Can I trust this person? Like, it can, you know, it can become like a big thing. So I can understand why they would think that it is a stressful thing, because it's not something that happens often. Whereas I think that the way that they're saying with like Brazilian women is that like it is more of a common thing. Even if they're just dating somebody and they're just like seeing where it goes, they still bring the person around their family. Whereas here it's more so, okay, I know you, I've dated you for a while, I'm serious about you, now I'm gonna bring you to meet the family. So there's a lot more pressure.
I think it's worse because you got like you kind of build a feeling for the person, and then you're gonna bring the person to your family.
Yeah.
And then if they don't like them, they don't like the person.
Yeah.
So how did this work?
Well, I mean, for
I
like I
haven't thought
said,
about it.
I have only brought 2 people around. You're the second person, so
I know, but your family is so cool. They don't. I mean, your
Yeah.
dad, he doesn't care, and you know.
yeah. I think that also for American guys, I will say that if you mention like bringing, I remember I dated one guy and I was like, oh yeah, like I was just gonna go with my sister like to get food, like you're welcome to join us. He's like, oh, you want me to meet your sister? I was like, I mean, we're just gonna get food. Like, it's not that serious. He was like, oh, you want, like, I was like, whoa, like you're, you know, but that's the stereotype here of like, you know, if you're meeting family, it's a big deal. I don't know. I wish that it wasn't like that, because especially if you are close with your family, it's nice to be able to bring people around and not feel that pressure of like, oh, they're gonna think that, you know, this is more serious than it is at this point. And sometimes it scares people off too, where like if you mention meeting the family, then they're like, oh my God, like you think this is more serious than it is. And then they like get afraid of being too serious.
Yeah.
So.
That is true.
And another thing that I really had to adjust to dating a Brazilian woman, and it did take me a few months again, like kind of stepping out of my comfort zone, was the level of affection that's kind of required here in Brazil. I mean, the women, they really want to know that you're their man, that you care about them, that you love them, just from everything from simple affection of like putting your arm around them, giving them a kiss on the cheek, constantly holding their hand, going out to dinner. One thing of like sitting on the same side like this. This is a very important thing in Brazil. I'm not
Exactly.
I'm not trying to
That is
Exactly.
true.
Exactly. I've seen that too, right?
This is how you would sit at the restaurant
Yeah.
with your girlfriend.
Right.
And then also it would be like, you know,
Do
some more
you
touch.
know that? You sit like right next to
I like to
Kevin.
sit right next to you. And then you always insist on sitting across from me. And then I have to hold your hand across the table.
Yeah. They never sit down like next to each other.
No, it's not common here.
In Brazil they do. They sit down at the bar and just like kinda
That's
go,
how we should be.
yeah, I'll drink some beer.
Touching too.
Sure.
And it's just like the overall level of affection that's kind of expected, and it made me grow as a man to love and appreciate a woman a lot more, and then show them physically that I care about them. And I owe a lot to, you know, my past Brazilian girlfriends that really helped me grow as a man to be more affectionate.
Yeah, because that is not something that is highly valued in the United States. I think, like you said, sitting on the same side of a booth in a restaurant is not necessarily normal in the United States.
No.
You will
Get a lot of weird
probably
looks.
get a lot of weird looks, especially for touching. Definitely don't be kissing.
Yeah.
And so it's just different. And like you, I've also had to learn and adjust, and I think I'm more grateful for that.
What was one big difference that you noted?
Okay, so to add on to this, I definitely would agree. I mean, I've never dated a Brazilian woman, but being with a Brazilian, I've definitely noticed that they are a lot more affectionate than Americans are. I feel like I never realized that I enjoyed being so affectionate until I was with you. Like, I remember at first, like, you put your hand on my leg. I think it was like the second time we hung out.
Yeah.
We were sitting down next to each other. You put your hand on my leg, and I was like, I literally like froze. I was so uncomfortable because it's just, I don't know, it's just not as common to be like affectionate with each other in public places. Like a lot of people will comment on our videos. Marcia will go to kiss me and they'll say like, oh my God, she was acting so weird, because it weird here. You know, it's not something that you're used to. If you're like, if we say we're out to dinner with some of my friends and we start kissing each other, it would make them very uncomfortable and probably everybody else around us uncomfortable. So, and that's partially why I think people don't do it, because they don't want to make people feel awkward or uncomfortable. But yeah, definitely affection. I would say Americans are not great at showing affection. Like it's not, they're not.
Especially in public.
Yeah.
Especially in public, they don't.
But I'm getting better about it.
I saw like a lot of couples, you know, like American couple, they walk in the street, they don't even hold the hands.
Yeah.
You know.
It is. That's kind of how it is here.
Oh my gosh.
Going out here in Brazil, there's a high expectation of going out with your girlfriend probably every weekend. You just want to always be going out. There's a lot of groups of friends that like to go out and do things together, and I think once you've become part of that group, assimilated into that group, they want to show you off. They want you to go out, drink with them, go out to restaurants, eat with them, maybe go to a sporting event like a big soccer game, go to a show.
Yeah, it's a very, very social culture. And then, I mean, when you are dating, the expectation is, you know, to go out a lot, try new things, go to restaurants, go to events, enjoy the cities, travel a lot too. I mean, I noticed that it was much more common to go for like a weekend away with your girlfriend in Brazil than in the United States, where I'd probably just stay in the city. But here, you know, when I was dating, it was very common, like, hey, we've got a 3-day weekend, let's head to the beach. Or, hey, I got a 4-day holiday coming up, you want to head here to the mountains, look for a nice romantic place, you know, really kind of like, I don't know, just have more experiences together. And I loved it. I love that part of dating a Brazilian woman.
Yeah, and almost that, I think the work culture in the United States is just so prevalent and so toxic, really, that we don't really like to get away. We don't like to treat ourselves to go out, like you said, on the weekends with our significant other. But here in Brazil, you're going out, you're going to a boteco with friends, you're having beer, which is something that is not as common in the United States. In the United States, a lot of American women don't like to drink beer because it's it's kind of like associated with men and just like the male American culture. But in Brazil, I think everybody likes to have
shout out to the Brazilian girls.
Yeah.
Because I love the fact that you can just have beer with me, drink beer with me all day, go to Boteco.
Yeah.
And just sit there and then eat steak with me, have some beers. It's just a dream.
This is just our own experience.
So I feel like this is actually the end of their video. So I feel like parts of this are true and parts are not. So I'll definitely agree, like, I feel like Americans don't utilize their time as much, especially where we live. We live in the Bay Area in California. It's very expensive. It's very like techie, like people work a lot. And a lot of the times they will work a 9 to 5, 6, 7, depending on however late they get their work done. And then a lot of times they're still spending their weekends on the phone, emailing. It's just like never ending. So I think that people don't prioritize actually like living life. Like they work hard and they get all this money and then they don't actually go out and live their lives. So that's definitely something that I do agree with. The whole beer thing, I'm not sure where they're from. I think that beer is associated with like male, like men in like American culture, but me and all of my friends definitely enjoy going out and having beers and just like hanging out and eating food. Especially when I was single, I was always going out and we'd go buy a pitcher of beer and split it and drink beer. For a long time, that's all I ever drank. I didn't even drink hard alcohol. So I think that a lot of women don't like beer because it's like fattening, but I love like a nice cold beer on a warm day.
I'm down for one.
Yeah.
So I think in Brazil, people, like they say, people socialize more than here. And then it's like you say, people here are more focused in work, you know, to work than they socialize. And when they do, you know, Americans, when they do socialize, they don't stay for that long compared to Brazilians, you know. It's like if they go to the restaurant, they go there for like 2 hours maximum, 2-3 hours, and they're heading home already.
Yeah.
So in Brazil, it's different. If they go to a restaurant, if people invite you to go to a restaurant, make sure you have in your mind you're gonna stay in the restaurant for like at least 4 hours. You know, like no, seriously. Like they be like, I like this part and I miss this part because they socialize way more than Americans they do. Alright, this is the end of the video. Please remember to subscribe, leave us a like, comment below if you're thinking this is true, and follow us on Instagram. And what else?
We really enjoyed watching this video. It was interesting to hear about like the differences between American and Brazilian culture and like the expectations that like each group kind of has. Hope you guys enjoyed this as well. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Ciao. Beijo. So, why are you laughing? Amor. Bye.
Ciao.